Welcome to the Type 1 Lifting Podcast. Now enjoy the show. All right, guys, I want to tell you a little bit about Type 1 Lifting. So Type 1 Lifting is a clothing brand that proceeds of the shirts, the hats, and everything else go to the Children's Diabetes Foundation. This whole t-shirt company started from me taking care of a 5-year-old girl from the emergency department at the Children's Hospital I worked at in Atlanta for a while back. I thought I needed to do a little bit more than kind of just talk about my story. So this is how I started the clothing line, because I wanted to show people that even though diabetics have this really bad disease, we can still do amazing things in our life, and diabetes won't stop us reaching our goals. So go check out type1lifting.com. And, if you have any questions, you can always reach me out on Instagram. It's Type 1 Lifting, and hope you guys enjoy the show. Hey guys, we have a new sponsor for the Type 1 Lifting podcast. The company's called Liberté Lifestyle. So Liberté is a French word meaning freedom, and the company was founded on the desire to have freedom to choose what we want to do with our lives. I actually had the owner, Nicole, on my podcast on episode 28, so if you want to go back and listen to her, she talks about how she started the company and what she wants to do in the future with the company, which is pretty cool. So they actually have knee sleeves, wrist wraps, shirts, shorts. Love the knee sleeves. I have the ice cream knee sleeves, and I love them so much. The neoprene's still good. The seams haven't split compared to other knee sleeves that I've had in the past, and I'm planning to keep these for a very, very long time. So Nicole actually gave me a promo code for you guys too. So it's all capital letters, TYPE, and the number 1. So it's Type 1. So go to libertelifestyle.com, check out what they have in the store, use the promo code Type 1, and save some coin. Now let's go to the episode. All right, guys, welcome to another episode of the Type 1 Lifting Podcast. I have a very special guest. She is a 56 kg elite power lifter, Jordan Noe. How you doing?
Hey, guys.
Hey, so I actually follow you on TikTok.
Okay, yeah.
And so I saw you do a squat clean at 265, and I was like, holy shit, this is like unreal. And then I go on your Instagram, you squat clean 275 like a couple days later, like a week later. I'm like, good Lord. And and you're a power lifter too. Not too many power lifters do anything like that. So
sure, yeah.
So but before we talk about the powerlifting and stuff like that, I kind of want to get to know like your childhood. What was it like? How and stuff like that.
Okay, so I actually grew up rodeoing. I started riding when I was around 3-5 years old. I actually raced motocross for a few years as well.
Oh, cool.
And then, I qualified high school nationals rodeo and goat tying. That was my favorite event. And then I went to college at OPSU for a year. And then I went back to New Mexico. I went to cosmetology school. And while I was in cosmetology school, my mom started doing CrossFit. She was like, I didn't rodeo anymore at this point.
Yeah.
And she's like, you need to try this, because I was kind of missing like the competition aspect of my life.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, all right, I went one time, I was hooked. But through when I was little, rodeoing was my life.
Yeah. Now
every single day.
Was that based in Arizona?
Actually, I'm from Albuquerque, New Mexico.
Oh, okay. Okay. Very cool. Yeah.
So, Los Lunas, it's a little bit south, but I tell people Albuquerque just because they are not going to know where Los Lunas is. So,
yeah. So, how did you get involved in that? Like of all the rodeoing, you decided to get into goat tying. So, when did that come out?
Okay, so there's boy events, girl events, and goat tying is actually a girl event. So, you run down on your horse, get off while he's running. A goat is staked out. You run, flank the goat, tie him up by 3 legs, and put your hands up, and that's time. So it's just one of the events that you do, and I want it to be an all around. So to be an all around, you have to do all the events. Mm-hmm. So that was just my favorite one.
What was your fastest time on that?
Oh, an average arena, I think I was like a 6'8" or something.
That's unreal.
just to get like the lasso around, like just get the coordination, just to throw it, and all of a sudden like land it, like get the goat. I mean, that's hard.
So that's breakaway. So goat tying, the goat is
Oh.
already like staked down there.
Oh,
So you
gotcha.
actually like run down on your horse and then you get off
Oh,
while
okay.
your horse is running. So it's actually even harder than roping, in my opinion.
Okay. Very cool. Very cool. I've never even like talked to anybody that does any does rodeos or anything like that. It's really interesting. So you did say that your mom started doing CrossFit. So like, how did, I know you said like, you know, you had like no other option for like, you know, games or competition or anything like that. So, you know, first of all, how did she get involved with CrossFit? And then how did she get you involved?
She's always been into working out. Ever since I was little, I'd wake up and she'd be 4 a.m. doing her Tae Bo in the living room. So, or Insanity. Then she got into Insanity. I think we all might've tried that. I did it like 3 times in high school. Yeah. But yeah, she was always into working out. So I don't know. I think one of her friends actually was doing it. So then he told her about it, knew she was super competitive. She went to the first CrossFit. She Googled CrossFit near her, went to the first gym she found, and she was hooked.
Very cool.
She wanted to get me hooked.
Yeah. So funny thing about Insanity, my wife's going to kill me. But so when we were living up in New Hampshire, she wanted to get into Insanity because she was just like, you know, all about it. You know, she's like, I got to try, I got to lose weight, I got to get fit. And so she was sweating so much, she would be in her underwear and bra and like a pair of sneakers, like inside the living room, just like doing the moves, because wearing shorts or anything else, would just be like just soaked. And so I come back home from work once in a while, she's like in like a, you know, sports bra and like underwear. And I'm like, what are you doing? Like, and our neighbors can see her like doing the moves because like our houses were pretty close to each other. And I'm like, cover yourself up. And she's like, no, I'm sweating too much. Yeah.
You're like, what happened? What did you just do?
Yeah. And I'm like, I did it once. I think I did it a couple of times. And like the first time, it was like right in the beginning, the first like 5 minutes. And I'm like dying, like I'm just like suffering. And they're like, no, this is just the warm up. And I was like, what? No.
Like I thought we were done.
Yeah. I'm like, this is the warm up. Good Lord. And so like, yeah, it didn't last that long. So
I think when I was in high school, I'm pretty sure that I did it like 3 times all the way through. Every night I would my mom would make me do 50 push-ups before bed. So.
So when your mom got involved with CrossFit, like, and she tried to get you involved. So what did she say about that? Like, you know, you got to try this out. I think you'd be perfect for it.
Yeah. So at the moment I like had quit rodeoing and I was, like I said, I had lost, like I was missing like the competition aspect of my life. So she had started and she had been going for about 3 weeks and she kept telling me like, you got to try this. You're going to be hooked. You do it once, you're hooked. And she's like, everyone competes like in the classes. It's a super fun environment. And I was like, all right. I finally caved in and I was like, I'll go. And so my first class, that was it. I was hooked.
Yeah.
So
do you remember your first workout?
No.
I
wish I did, but no.
Yeah. Yeah. My first CrossFit workout was the 300 workout.
300. Which one's that?
So the guys from the movie 300, they had.
I think I know what workout.
Yeah, they had this whole workout. It was kind of like CrossFit-ish, but like I would do that like once a week. It was like 300 reps of like all this stuff. You had to do it as fast as possible.
Oh God.
Yeah, it was.
You're probably traumatized.
Yeah, it was. I mean, I did it. I was doing it for once a week. I'm like, because I want to look like one of those guys. So why not? Like, I mean, if they did it,
this is what they do.
Yeah, Jared Butler supposedly did it in like 24 minutes, and here's me like doing it in like I'm at like minute 45, like 3/4 of the way done. I'm like, how is he doing this? But I mean, and then yeah, it's very, very addicting, CrossFit.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. So when did you actually start getting into powerlifting?
So my mom and I actually got a strength coach. His name, I don't know if you can see my dogs wrestling back here. I'm like, so my mom actually got us a strength coach and his name's Jordan Chavez. He owns NFP CrossFit Zia Strength Systems in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Okay. He's an awesome coach. So he actually, there was the New Mexico State powerlifting competition meet. It was like 2 months away and he was like, you're going to do this meet. And I was like, I've never even benched before. Like, what? He's like, no, you're strong. Like you're going to do it. He pretty much forced me to do it. And man, after that I was hooked.
Yeah. Very
So
cool. So when did you realize you were starting getting to be like really, really good at this? Even at CrossFit too.
So in CrossFit, everything honestly like clicked for me right away. Like I remember when I first started trying like a ring muscle up, I got it like within my first few tries.
Yeah, I hate you. I hate
Bar
you.
muscle up, same thing. Honestly, the body awareness comes from riding horses for so long.
Mm-hmm.
So I just like know where to put my body, where to place my body, how to move my body. So that CrossFit has come like really natural to me. And then I think I have like I'm cowgirl strong. So my strength just comes from, you know, baling hay, flanking goats, climbing up my horse.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
I like from the beginning, I kind of realized like I'm strong, you know?
Very cool. Very cool. So during that first meet, like did you have like certain expectations, or what was your thoughts like going through the first meet?
No, so that was what was pretty cool about it is I was like, I'm a CrossFitter and I'm just going to go to this meet and see what I can do.
Yeah.
And so actually at my first meet, I did attempt the junior world record in deadlift. Yeah, so that was pretty crazy. I hit that day 403, I'm pretty sure. And I attempted 410. I did lift it, but I got red lighted for a small little hitch. So, but you know, that was a memory I'll never forget.
Yeah, that's really cool. Just doing that and pulling that on your first meet too.
Yeah. Actually, I remember like looking up mid lift and just the entire gym was screaming and yelling, and yeah.
So do you think the powerlifting like meets have like more energy than like, you know, your typical boxer or anything like that during a competition?
Oh yeah. The adrenaline's going, the music's bumping loud. Yeah, for sure. Especially by the time deadlift comes around, because then it's just pretty much time to lift it.
Yeah, very
lift
cool.
Heavy shit.
Yeah, no, I hear you. So when did you actually get into like the elite level?
So that pretty much goes off of like your totals. So I actually like totaled elite numbers after my first meet. So
The same.
Thank you.
Very cool. Very cool. So so you're in the 56 kg division. So I know there's like a whole bunch of divisions throughout the whole like powerlifting world. Yeah. And so you're in the raw division. So what are the other different groups of powerlifting?
So do you mean like weight classes or
like raw? Like I know there's raw. I know there's like gear.
So okay, yeah. So I compete in raw. So it's pretty much just knee sleeves, belts. Like we don't wear any like the compression singlets or like I don't compete in wraps or anything. So those are geez, I don't even know what they call them. They have like
insert like in like the
I'm like they do some. I have actually worn wraps before, and those things are so painful, like incredibly painful, where you squat and you're just like, rip them off me. Whoever's closest, just take them off me immediately.
That sucks. That's crazy. Yeah, like some of those dudes with those suits are like super tight and even like
they like barely walk.
Yeah, exactly. Like you literally, even with the bench press suit, they're like literally like curled up, and I'm like, it's like cheating.
I mean, I'll give you that.
Well, I mean, it's you know, I'd rather have someone do something raw compared to
no, for sure,
like a whole suit on, because that's more impressive.
And I honestly, I still don't really even understand like the purpose behind like the suit stuff. So
I guess maybe to help you rebound. I don't know.
Because when you're wearing like wraps, that's pretty much like what they do is you like bounce out of a hole. Mm-hmm. You don't ever really reach like the bottom. So
yeah. So have you met like anybody in the powerlifting world that you've been like looking up to for like such a long time? Did you get a chance to like work out with them or anybody?
So actually, Steffi Cohen just recently became my powerlifting coach.
Oh, really cool.
Yeah. So I've actually looked up to her since I've started. I remember before I even started sumo deadlifting, I would sit there for hours and just watch her videos and just watch over and over and over just until I can like get it impounded in my brain. That's what I wanted to do. So yeah, she's I worked out with her on Monday, and it was our first session together, and she put me to work. I'm going back to Miami on Saturday. We're going to be training together twice a week for now. So
Okay, very cool.
She's been the one that I've, always wanted to be around. And the fact that she's my coach now is crazy and quite a blessing.
Yeah, it's like pinching yourself. Like, is this like really happening?
Right? Yeah.
And so like everyone sees her like, lifting like these crazy weights and all that stuff. Like what is she like behind, coaching, or like even like personal, like, sitting down for like lunch or just like shooting the shit? Like what is she like?
She's freaking cool. Like, we had our first session, like I said, on Monday, and we literally just talked the entire time. Like, I'd known her forever. She was able to push me and get a lot out of me, which most people can't do. So yeah, she's super humble, super, super easy to talk to, which is surprising, because like you see her on Instagram, you see her on social media, and you're like, that's a bad bitch, which she is a bad bitch. Yeah. But she's humble, and she knows she's a bad bitch, but she's humble when you meet her, which is awesome.
So did you just like send her like a message and say, hey, I want you to coach me, or like, how did that come about?
So I actually competed at the powerlifting meet that they put on. It was actually held during Wadapalooza.
Okay.
So I competed there, and her and Hayden, who is her fiance, they own Hybrid Performance together. They actually saw me. They watched me on the live stream, and Hayden actually reached out to me and was like, it'd be cool if you came and joined the team. And so that's how we linked up, and Steffi wants to coach me. So it's awesome.
Cool. Yeah. So do you think you're like one of the strongest people in your weight class?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Very, very good mindset to have that. I think you do, because I've seen some of your posts on like Instagram, and it's like, oh my God, it's like insane.
Thank you. Yeah.
Very cool. So
sometimes I even like surprise myself. I'm like, how did I do that?
Yeah. Yeah. So typically, like, how do you like do like some like CrossFit workouts before you do like, train, well, not train, but like do like meets for powerlifting? Like what's like the typical warm up for you, and how does it go?
Okay. So actually, before this last powerlifting meet, I was actually prepping for my meet, and I had qualified in the pro division for the Fittest Experience in Austin. I don't know if you've heard about that competition.
Yep.
I actually had qualified for the pro division, and then I was doing my powerlifting meet as well. So I was doing CrossFit 5 times a week and prepping for my meet. So I was lifting heavy about 3 times a week, and then doing CrossFit every single day. I would just have like designated days, like, okay, today I'm going to be doing gymnastics and my upper, and then the next day lower, and some intense cardio intervals. So yeah, I pretty much stay doing both, but now the powerlifting is getting a little bit more serious, so CrossFit's gonna have to kick the curb for a little.
Very cool. So do you think do you think it's an easier transition going from CrossFit to powerlifting, or powerlifting to CrossFit?
Honestly, doing it for like both of them for the past few years, they've actually complemented each other very well. I feel like my Oli lifts and everything went up tremendously once I started powerlifting. And then my CrossFit would help my powerlifting, because say I'm at a meet, by the time I get to the deadlift, I still have so much more left in the tank. I'm not tired, Yeah. So I feel like they definitely have helped one another for sure.
Okay, very cool. And so I did see that you were a coach in a CrossFit gym in Arizona a while back. So what was your style of coaching? Because I know each coach has like a different setup, how do you talk to people? So what's your way of like connecting to your clients, and how to make them perform at at the level they're trying to get to?
So I actually feel like I have a very structured way of coaching. I learned a lot of my coaching styles from Phil, actually, my boyfriend. And we have just a very structured way of doing things. So I feel like people actually really respond to that very well. Instead of just being like, all right, guys, here's the workout. I'm just standing there watching them. You know what I mean? I go through the movements with them. I feel like approaching people, I like to push people, but I don't like to see them break. So I feel like I'm very good at pushing them, getting them to go a little bit farther, but I don't like to push people so hard in the way that they're like, I don't want to go back.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I actually feel like I really connect with females a lot. So I just feel like it's a special bond where I'm like, okay, I can tell that I can push her a little bit harder,
Mm-hmm.
and I can get a little bit more from females. So
Yeah. Well, I mean, to be honest with you, like I think females are more serious when it comes to CrossFit than guys sometimes, because like, you know, especially like the general population, you know, guys are just like, okay, I want to get fit and just like look good on the beach and stuff like that. And some of these girls are like, yeah, I'm all in, like sign me up.
true.
Like, give me all the white
They'll
belts.
pretty much, like whatever I say, they'll do. Where guys are like, I'm still gonna do whatever I want.
Yeah. I mean, it's funny. Like I hear more guys complaining than girls. It's hilarious. They're like, oh, do we have to do the warm up? And I'm like, what are you doing? No,
Yeah, for real.
Very cool. So, what were some of the most like memorable moments of you coaching in Arizona?
Wow. Just the connection like I would make with the people at the gym. I feel like I made some of my best friends through coaching, and I really miss coaching in Arizona. I actually do coach here in Naples.
Okay.
At a gym called Real Fitness CrossFit. So, but man, coaching in Arizona, really, it just brought me so much best friends. Is awesome.
Yeah. So do you use the same technique that you do when you were in Arizona back down in Florida too as well?
So in Arizona, I feel like Phil and I actually really carried across our coaching style there. So pretty much everyone had to learn how to coach like us.
Mm-hmm.
And here I'm kind of having to morph to how they want their classes coached. And so it's been a little bit not hard for me to kind of like transfer over to that, not being so stern, but it's good. It's learning. So
very cool. So what are some tips that you use for people that like can't get the movement down and they're like really frustrated? Like what are ways to talk to, you know, your clients to, you know, understand like the movement better and try to actually make them achieve that movement that they've been struggling with?
I feel like I can't just tell someone something. I have to show them. Mm-hmm. And then also like on their body, like I want to put them into place. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then I feel like if someone is asking me like, oh, how do I handstand walk, or how am I doing this? How am I doing that? I want to be able to show them how to do it, you know? Mm-hmm. So words most of the time aren't enough. So I want to be able to perform the movement for them.
Okay. Yeah. So when I was a personal trainer, like a couple of years ago, one of the things I did was called, I had like 3 things that I would tell people, especially for like the overhead press, but like I do the pigeon. So head back, you know, forward when they get through the whole head back, you know, yeah. And then if I wanted to get their butt back during a lift, like, you know, Romanian deadlifts or something like that, I say Miley Cyrus, because you know how she twerks. So like, you know, have her stick your butt, I just like Miley Cyrus and just stick your butt out. And then, you know, everyone gets it because they understand it. And then the last one, when they're deadlifting, if they did, you know, keep the chest up, I say King Kong, you know, because King Kong.
Yeah, he's like walking around like that.
Yeah. So like just like stupid stuff like that, I would like tell them to do, or like, you know, flat back, I say tabletop. And like every time I say stuff like that, like they would always get it. They're like, they immediately go to that position or movement. And I'm like, okay. I mean, just like stupid things like that. I'm
gonna have to steal some of those.
Hey, listen, I don't personal train anymore. You're more than welcome to have them.
Perfect. Thank you. No trademark.
No, I wish I did. I really did. I really do. No, I don't care. I mean, I love learning about personal training and stuff like that, even though I don't do it right now. The main thing, the reason why I don't personal train anymore is it's not stable where I was working at, because you know, I have a family of, you know, my wife and my 2 kids, and I need something more stable just for my family. Cause you know, I love coaching and stuff like that. But then like when it gets close to like the summertime or like Christmas, like I'm making no money whatsoever. Because everyone's on vacation, and it's just like,
it's like this roller coaster.
And I can't have that. So, and I'm like, I'm literally like buying Christmas stuff in like October just to make sure like I actually have stuff, you know. It's just, you know, but I mean, I love it. I mean, I still love it. If I had the chance for like something stable and like decent money, I would drop my job right now and I'd do it doing a heartbeat.
It's awesome.
So
Personal training is super, it's rewarding for sure.
Yeah, and especially when you have like clients like lose like a whole bunch of weight and just like see them progress from like where they were to now, it's amazing.
Yeah, seeing people happy with the results that you're helping them achieve is awesome. It's an awesome feeling.
Yeah, and I've had clients that lost like 60 pounds, 25 pounds, and like
wow.
I did one workout with a lady that she had like one of these Bulgarian like sacks, and it was 25 pounds, and she's like, how much is this? And I'm like, it's 25 pounds, and she's like, come to the realization, she's like, oh my god, I was 25, this was me like a year ago, and I had all this weight on me, and she's like, this is insane. And I'm like, I know, just think you're a whole new person.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
for sure.
Like, I'm pretty strict too when it comes to like diet too. Like I'm not like dietitian. I don't claim to be one. I always tell people to, if they're doing one-on-ones with me, I'm like, you're gonna text me everything you eat. Just text me a picture. That's it. And like then they're more like
accountability.
Yeah, and then they're more like, especially during the holidays too. They're like, I gotta be really strict. I'm like, well, text me what you're gonna be eating. And then and they're like, oh crap, really? And I'm like, well, you said it, so here you go. But like everyone was great. They were, some people text me bad stuff, and I'm like, whatever. It's like the first thing in the first week. It happens.
Live and learn.
Yeah, exactly. So I know that you moved down to Florida. So what was the reason why you and Phil moved down to Florida?
So pretty much opportunity, but his coach is out here, Matt Torres, and they're actually building a brute strength HQ. So all of his athletes picked up and moved here. So, and I saw it as a huge opportunity for me as well.
Oh yeah. So they moved out of Utah to go down to Florida in a nicer place. Yeah, I'll take that. So when you walk into the gym and you see like Phil and like all the other, CrossFit athletes like training all at once, so you're just like sitting there like this is like, I'm seeing all these elite athletes, this is including yourself, but I'm like, just, you're seeing all these people, like, does it like amaze you, like what they're building down there?
Yeah, it's really cool. Actually, I was like a few weeks ago, I was just sitting there, Dolan's wife, we were sitting there and we're just looking around and we're like, wow, this is awesome. It's cool to be a part of it too, just to see the work that they put in. And yeah, it's really cool. So
yeah. So how did you and Phil meet?
We actually met at a CrossFit competition in 2018.
Okay.
He actually met my mom, and then we met, and yeah.
So did he wow you in like the first time you met him, or like how did that interaction?
He was cute.
was it the tattoos that got you?
So he actually only had like one tattoo, or maybe he had a sleeve. He had a sleeve when I first met him, but since we've been dating, he's added the chest and the side and the whole other sleeve, and yeah.
Do you like
he just keeps going and going.
Yeah.
I like that. I like them on him.
Okay.
Actually, we're watching the what is that one? It's a Marvel show on Netflix. I forgot the name of it.
Daredevil.
The Punisher. The Punisher.
Yeah. Okay.
And I was like, oh, that'd be a cool tattoo for you. And he's like, oh, thanks. You just gave me my next tattoo idea. I'm like, oh, awesome. Perfect.
That's funny. So are you guys, so is that like the whole like brute camp? Are they like pretty social together? Like, after training, do you guys like meet up and hang out at all?
Yeah. We actually had the boys, Dolan and James and Ethan, over for one of our epic cheat meals that we have on Saturdays. We had them over a few weeks ago. So, but we're always doing stuff. So even like at the gym, like after training, we'll just sit there and talk for a little bit. And yeah, they've actually became friends really quickly.
Okay, very cool. What's the cheat meal that you can do every Saturday?
So we don't cheat during the week. Like even if we want something small, we don't have it. Mm-hmm. Saturdays, we do a pretty crazy intense cheat meal. Like we get whatever we want. If you watch, we just started our YouTube vlog. So we have one up, and we went to Miami, like not this weekend, but the weekend before. Maybe it was last weekend. I don't remember. But that's like a typical cheat meal for us. We just go, we get whatever we want, and we go all in.
That must be nice, because I have to be kind of restrictive. So I mean, granted, pancakes are my jam, but there's times that my blood sugar just like goes through the roof, and I'm sitting there like, shit, why did I just do that? But oh well, and ice cream too. Ice cream always gets me.
Ice cream, yeah.
What's your
We
favorite?
love ice cream. I really like milk and cookies from Ben and Jerry's,
Okay.
but I also like anything from Cold Stone is good. We actually just had a really good ice cream in Miami at I forgot the dessert place we went to, but that was probably the best ice cream we have ever had. We both voted.
Okay. All right. There's if you ever go to California, like the San Francisco, Oakland area, there's a place called Fenton's. And
Okay.
so they have this like ice cream sundae with this huge chocolate chip, like a cookie. It's like this is like pre-diabetic. This was like when I was in the Air Force and like no issues. So the sundae has like this huge chocolate chip cookie in the middle of the sundae, and you could put like it's like 5 or 6 scoops of ice cream, and then they put like chocolate, caramel, and marshmallow drizzle like all over it. It goes like all off the sundae dish and goes onto the plate, and then like there's a huge whipped cream with like a big like cherry on top, and like I've had like I have like my family has a huge history of like heart issues, and so my wife's like complaining to me. She's like, "What's wrong with you? You know you have heart issues and cholesterol issues. You can't be eating that shit." And I'm like,
"You're like YOLO."
Yeah, I know exactly. Like you know, and a couple of years later, I became a diabetic, so I'm like, I don't touch this stuff anymore. But it's like I had 2 of those in the matter of like probably a week, and it was massive. I gotta send you a picture of it. It's
yeah, for sure.
Oh my god, unreal.
I honestly live for food. Like anyone that I talk to, we always end up in a conversation about food, just because I love food so much.
Yeah. So what are your well, since we talk about food, because I love food too. So what are your favorite dishes? Like, do you have like a certain like Italian, Mediterranean?
I really like pizza. Pizza's
Okay.
like, if I had to pick like one last cheat meal, it would for sure be pizza.
Okay. Any toppings on it or?
Okay. So I used to really like pepperoni pizza. I like Hawaiian pizza, but when I moved to Arizona, Phil had a place, it was like New York style pizza, and he would get penne alla vodka pizza.
Ooh.
And I tried that, and that was it. That's like the only kind of pizza I want now. So
Yeah.
that would be it.
Yeah. I'm a big barbecue chicken guy.
He likes that too.
Yeah.
I really like, I don't know. I'm not really big on like too much meat on my pizza.
Yeah. I mean, I like the barbecue sauce. That's like,
okay.
Like I'll drop tomato, the tomato sauce like in a heartbeat for barbecue sauce.
Yeah. Have you ever had white pizza?
Yes, I have. So being up in like Massachusetts and like going to New York with seeing my relatives all the time, they had like, I had the New York subway pizza, like literally was like the size of my face.
Huge.
Yeah, huge. And I'm, so I've had like all types of pizza, and I go to town, and typically we get like Domino's, which I'm not a really big fan of, but it's like, it's easy.
Yeah.
I would love to go to like, a mom and pop pizza joint and just get like,
those are the best.
Yeah. Cause especially like an Italian mom and pop joint, they do it the best.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Very cool. So, since you're talking about YouTube, you said you started a YouTube channel earlier. So what's the whole goal of, your YouTube channel? Like, what are you trying to, are you trying to do like weekly? What's the idea for your YouTube channel?
So it's me and Phil. It's like a collab YouTube. People actually kept telling us like, you guys started, moving to Florida, you guys should start a YouTube channel. And we're like, okay. Like, people kind of like want to see what we're doing here in Florida. So we want to do like one weekly for now. We did the one where we went to Miami. It was kind of like a day in the life. And then I actually just did the 10,000 calorie challenge where you eat. I did that on Saturday and I videoed it. So that'll be going out tomorrow.
Very cool.
So
yeah.
So we just want to show people, like our friends, what we're doing here in Florida, our life.
Cool. So do you feel weird in front of the camera at all? Like just like videoing yourself, or did you get rid of that really quick?
No, I feel like I'm fine. I am who I am. So
very cool. So have you figured out how to do good thumbnails, or
I'm actually trying to put a lot of effort into the thumbnails,
Mhm.
and I feel like I'm pretty creative, so it's going well.
Okay. Yeah, I'm trying to do thumbnails for the like the podcast, like the channel, like the videos and stuff, and I'm realizing like I gotta make like I gotta highlight the person around. I gotta put like, you know, like what Max does, like pretty much like make this like glow behind the person.
Yeah, like
and,
make it catch, like stand out to people, catch
yeah,
the eye.
and like do obviously like clickbaity, because like I wanted
Yep.
to do the latest video I did, it was with Tom Miazga, and he's like the 4 times CrossFit champion and the adaptive like wheelchair athlete.
Oh, wow.
So I was like, I consider him the GOAT pretty much, and I even
Oh,
asked
for
him,
sure.
I asked him that on the podcast, and so I wanted to put it on my thumbnail, but I'm like, I don't know if he's really gonna like that. So I was like, I'll just say 4-time CrossFit Games champ. That's it.
I mean, I'm sure he'd love to know that you think he's the GOAT.
Oh, I already told him that in the
Oh,
podcast. Like
okay.
he was
sure.
like, I even asked him, I'm like, do you think you're the GOAT? And he starts like laughing.
Oh,
Like, I don't think I am, but you know, I'm like, well, you are. So just leave it as that.
might as well put it on the thumbnail then.
Yeah. I mean, you gotta get clickbait, you know, you gotta get the clicks, right? So do you have
Anything.
any other ideas that are for the YouTube channel? It's like the 10,000 calorie or anything else?
So yeah, I did the 10,000 calorie, and then Phil is gonna actually do like weekly, like the open workouts,
Okay.
like what his like day looks like and doing the workout. So that's gonna be next, and then we actually want to do a Q&A. So we're gonna drop like the little pop-up box on our Instagrams
Mhm.
and have people just ask us questions, and we'll sit here and answer those.
Shoot away.
And then,
Yeah.
let me
So
think. I don't know. I'm
I
trying to
did-
think of if there's anything else.
I did see your first video on YouTube.
Oh, okay, cool.
It was it was the one with the fittest experience, like it was like the workout for getting
Oh,
the
fittest.
competitions.
It was it this year or was it last?
I didn't look at the year. I think it was maybe last
Okay.
year.
Okay.
But it was like I was like, oh, okay. Well, I mean, she has that. You have that. So what's the YouTube channel name?
So this one is Phil and Jordy.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Very cool. All right. So are you planning to do the open this year?
No. Actually, at my last powerlifting meet, I popped my adductor. So I haven't really been squatting or anything since then. It's feeling good. So I'm probably going to start squatting this week or this coming week. But Steffi says no more CrossFit. So.
All good. So
And I don't know. I'm not going to argue.
I wouldn't either. Absolutely not. No way. So what did you think about the first open workout for this year?
Boring. It's just boring. I don't know. And then I think it's you know how they're doing like no more bounding. I think that they should probably just let each athlete like decide what they want to do. But
yeah. I'm the same way too. I wanted to do the rebounding because I'm like really good at that. Even though me being like 6'6", I could even like just like.
Oh my God, is that how tall you are?
Yeah, yeah.
Holy crap! Well,
so,
I'm 5'1", so.
Yeah, so like me doing box jumps, I'm really good at them, and like bounding would be like amazing. And plus, like I wanted to suffer even more so I can complain earlier during the workout. You know, so I mean, but it's
5 minutes in.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, geez, like, you know, because like I can go pretty quick on the box jumps, and even like the dumbbell snatches, like the wall walks, it'll take me like a century to just do one because of my long arms. So it's like that pretty much be my break compared to like both the other ones.
Well, with box jumps, you like barely have to go.
Yeah, I barely have to jump because like I'm a.
What about wall balls? Probably so easy.
Yeah, like I don't even really jump. I just like literally throw it up in the air, and that's it.
I'm like jumping every rep.
Yeah, even rowing too. That's my like, but even rowing's easy. But like the one thing is my jam is thrusters. For some reason, like I love doing thrusters. I'm probably a sicko, but like it's like I could just hang on to the bar and like put it over my head and squat like no problem. So
well, that's a good movement to be good at.
yeah. I mean, they suck, but like I love doing them. So, but yeah. So that's the one thing I wish they did at the rebound. Like you said, we had like other athletes can kind of do whatever they want. So
yeah, I just think it should be like their choice, but
yeah. Well,
it is what it is.
Do you think it's because like all these like new, new people coming into CrossFit that they will try to do it and they actually will like hurt themselves, so they won't do the rest
Yeah,
of the
I can see like it being like a safety thing. But I don't know. I still think each person should decide.
Yeah, I agree. So we're getting close to the end. So I have some rapid fire questions. So
Oh.
I don't do gotcha questions, so don't worry. So do you have like, what are your goals for the rest of the year? They could be either like personal
Goals.
or fitness wise.
I definitely want to do some powerlifting meets. So my first year in powerlifting, I finished out the year 7th in the world.
Mhm.
I definitely want to be like top 3 in the world. I want my name to be at the top of the list, but top 3 is a good goal for now.
Okay, very cool. Anything with personal?
Let's see. I'm not going to be doing much like Oli lifting, but I really want to clean 300 pounds.
Okay.
And then I want to bench 225. That's a good goal. And then other personal goals. Let's see. I mean, all my goals are pretty like fitness related personal goals.
Okay. So how long have you and Phil been dating?
A little over 2 years.
So has anybody complained about like, hey, when are you guys gonna get married or whatnot?
No, we've talked about it, and we just honestly we have so many goals and huge ambitions and dreams. We don't, until there's like, oh, we want to have kids, there's really like, we have shit to do.
Yeah. Well, plus you're young, so like I wouldn't worry about it. So like my wife and I got married when I was like 33. So
okay, yeah.
I'm like, I always tell people like there's no rush to get married. I mean, you guys you're together. It's like you guys are
exactly.
together. Like there's no whatever.
No. Yeah, no. He needs to make the games. I need to go be the strongest 56 kilo powerlifter in the world. So we have some stuff to do.
Okay. All right. So what is your favorite book that you like to read?
Favorite book? Well, I'm not much of a reader.
Okay. Do you do like audiobooks or anything like that?
Actually, so my favorite book that I have read a few times is called Mind Gym. So
Okay.
I haven't read it in a little bit, but I probably should get back on that.
Okay. All right. Do you have any podcasts that you like listening to?
Podcasts. Well, any podcast that Phil is on, I'm like the first listener.
Okay.
But let me think. No, none like just come to mind.
Yeah. So do you even have time to do podcasts? Because you're pretty much like training all day and coaching.
Yeah, I woke up at 3:30 a.m. to coach actually today.
Oof. I mean, I get up at 4:20, but still 3:30. Good Lord.
Yeah, I have to be at the gym by 4:45. So I want to be like awake and aware of what I'm doing.
Okay. Yeah. That's understandable. Yeah. Okay.
I mean, we pretty much have like the same schedule every single day. I'll wake up at 3:30 a few days a week to go coach, come home, eat, we train, come home, eat, sleep.
Mm-hmm.
It's always the same.
Yeah. So what is in your gym bag?
What is in my gym bag? Let's see. I have some Noble high tops, some Nike Remalios, a Element 26 Velcro belt. I have my wrist straps for when I bench. Let's see. I have my leather belt that I use when I go to meets, when I lift heavy. I have my thumb tape. That's pretty much it.
Okay. All right. Now let's just
knee sleeves.
Yeah, don't forget that. Yeah.
Knee sleeves.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so your line of bed, it's your last day like on this earth.
Okay.
What would you want somebody to know, like how do you want people to know you as?
I would say I want people to always think of me like as loyal, being like a good, kind person, genuine, and strong.
Well, yeah, I mean, I'd say that too. So, I know, I kind of missed this question, but I know you're sponsored by Ghost. Like, are you sponsored by anybody else? And if you aren't, like, what are the few things that you want as like, you know, like someone to sponsor you? Like, is there any like
This
criteria?
actually goes back to like goals. So one of my like goals for this year, I want to get 3 sponsors. So, you know, I have ghosts, but what am I looking for in a sponsor? Is that, oh man, I want to be able to like believe in whatever, you know, whoever's sponsoring me. I want to be able to believe in like the product, whatever I'm using or offering to other people. I want to be able to use it and trust in it myself. So.
Okay. All right. Very cool. Have you reached out to anybody yet?
No, I've never reached out to anyone. I feel like my name will speak for itself. So
Okay. Yeah, you keep on doing those TikTok videos, you'd be perfect.
I actually reached, I think I'm at 105,000 followers.
God, see that's what pisses me off because like there's like right, so I'm a little rant here. So I got one video, I did like 3 hand cleans at like 265, and like it got like it blew up. And then like, there's me doing other lifts, like, you know, clean and jerking 315 or 3 whatever, and like doing like these big lifts, and I get nothing.
Have you ever looked at like your following and like what time you should post and like stuff like that?
Yeah, kind of. Well, with TikTok, it's a little different because like you can post at random times and it's just like you'll still get like huge engagement. So like I don't know TikTok, but like with like Instagram, I've done okay. You know, I've gotten some good engagement with that, but like it's like TikTok is so weird. Like even my wife, like she's like a social media influencer on Instagram. She got like 40,000 followers on Instagram.
Jeez,
And so yeah,
I'll take some lessons from her.
Yeah, it's well, I mean, she does like she's a fashion influencer, so nothing to do with
okay, cool.
She just like puts on different outfits and like all this stuff.
Oh, that's still cool.
Yeah, so Sarah
really
on
cool.
Instagram, shameless plug. But yes, so it's like it's hard on TikTok because like it's like literally if you're a girl, I think this, if you're a girl, you're gonna get better, you know, recognition and more likes and like more comments compared to another like a guy doing like almost the same thing.
I can agree with that. The only thing, like my argument will be, is a lot of the fitness female influencers on social media, TikTok, Instagram, they like to show their bodies. Mm-hmm. And that is one thing that I will say when you look at my social media, my TikTok, is it's just me lifting. Yeah. So I feel like I can see what you're saying, but my social media can argue against that.
Well, yeah, okay, you're an outlier. Like I do appreciate like you know, you're not like showing your butt pretty much. Like
yeah, like, and I feel like every single female influencer, like fitness influencer, they just show off their bodies.
Yeah. You know, and like they blatantly have the camera and like look back to see if they're at the right angle to get their butt like shown. And I'm like, and they're like lifting like 15 pounds for like, I'm like,
no, trust me, it gets me too, because I'm like, what is this? I can do that for 50.
Yeah, I'm like, that's like, yeah, you're doing it for a video, like, and like, oh, just you know, buy my workout programs. I'm like, no, I'm not gonna buy your workout programs if you're doing 15 pounds for like, you know, 100 reps. You know, it's and it's awesome. Like I like to like see like girls like lift like big weights. You know,
for sure. Yeah,
like you doing 275 for a squat clean, I was like, holy shit, this is like you never really see that much, and it's just like jaw dropping. You're like, how does this, like, you know, and like for being your size too, it's like unreal.
Thank you. When I deadlifted the 436 in my last meet, I posted it on TikTok and I was like, yeah, this is gonna like blow up, you know, blah blah blah. It didn't. So I can definitely, I agree with you, like with the girls that they post like, you know, they're doing kettlebell swings with the 15-pound but their butt's showing, and that blows up, but my 436 deadlift doesn't. So I agree. I get what you're saying.
I don't know. I mean, like for me, like I don't want to, you know, take my shirt off and stuff like that, and like, you know, just because it's like it's not me. You know, I'm always
exactly.
I'm always wearing a t-shirt working out. Like I don't like wearing a t-shirt, like not wearing a t-shirt if I'm working out, unless I'm like in my basement, just like suffering. But it's like I don't know. And plus like my t-shirt company, I have a t-shirt company, so of course I have to keep the t-shirt on to show the brand, even though I'm not wearing my t-shirt, but whatever. But it's like, you know, I don't know. Yeah. I don't know. It's interesting. My buddy is a personal trainer too, and he gets a lot of likes, and he always has his shirt off, and he's like, you need to take a shirt off once in a while. And so,
Yeah.
and I'm training in a global gym, so I can't take my shirt
Yeah,
off.
everyone's like, just post a booty picture. You'll get likes. I'm like, no.
Yeah, exactly. And like, plus like, I'm not training at a typical CrossFit gym. So I train at a global gym. They have bumper plates and all that stuff, but they don't have like rings or anything like that. So
Okay.
like I do all my CrossFit workouts there. And I'm like, I'm not taking my shirt off in front of like everybody.
Weird. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, I don't want to be like that clown that's like trying to flex in the mirror, like those.
People are going to be videoing you.
Yeah, pretty much. And I'm like, I see so many younger kids like trying to flex like in front of the mirror in the bathroom, and I'm like, stop, just stop. Like
For TikTok.
yes, of course. Or like posting like, yeah, check me out. I did like, biceps, and we're like, okay, all right. Anyway, but well, I want to thank you for coming onto this podcast and learning about especially the rodeo and like powerlifting and stuff like that. I had no idea about that. I was doing some research and I didn't even pop up. So, but I do appreciate you coming on and like telling your story and learning a little bit more about you. And I'd love to have you back on after you kind of see how it goes.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you so much for having me. You already helped me achieve one of my 2022 goals. So
I know, I'm excited.
We're on the right track.
Yeah, I'm that guy.
Yeah.
I'll take it. So
thank you so much.
All right. Thank you. Hey, thank you very much for doing that.
Yeah, that was awesome. Thank you so much for having me on.
Yeah. So what did you think is your first podcast?
That was fun.
Yeah.
I liked it.
Awesome.
Good time.
Yeah. So I actually had another power lifter on earlier, like my first year of doing this podcast. Her name's Jessica Butner.
I think I know that name.
So she is the #1 power lifter in her weight class, and she's from Canada.
Okay. What weight class is she?
I don't know. She back squats like 550 or something like that, and she pulls like 450. And she's I don't think she's 5'1", but she's like relatively short.
Sure. I'll have to look her up on Instagram.
I'll send it to you. So she has
okay.
She has like 100 and I think she might be up to 200,000 followers on Instagram.
Jeez.
So
I probably know who she is then for sure.
Yeah. So the reason why she blew up was she deadlifted 405 for 5 reps, and she posted it on Facebook.
I think I know who you're talking about, actually, now that you say that.
Yeah, she's a savage, and she's a type 1 diabetic too. So I was
wow.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Like just seeing her work out, I'm like you just like, I'm like, good God, that's insane. I'm like, I can't even pull, I can barely pull 400 right now. I don't, because I'm like 6'6", so it takes like a minute just to get it up there. So
yeah, for sure. I'm like the size of one of your legs.
Yeah. I mean, when I was doing workouts at a CrossFit gym on like Saturdays, because they had like an open gym, there was this 18-year-old kid, and like he was doing cross country, and he's like half my size. So I try to beat him because he's good at endurance stuff. And I'm like, oh, I'm gonna smoke his ass. And like we're doing pull-ups, and I'm like, what number are you at? And he's like doubled of what I am. And I'm like, there's no way. And I'm like,
shorter range of motion.
Yeah, exactly. So I was recording it, and so I was watching the video. Every rep that I was doing, he was doing 2. And I'm like, come on, that's not fair. And then like all the guys at the gym are like, first of all, he's like 18 and you're like 38. And then second of all, like you can lift a lot more weight than he does. And so I was like, well, I mean,
True.
Yeah, but still, it's like I want to beat him. I want to be like just once.
Strength always wins. That's what I always say.
Yeah, but it's good to have endurance once in a while too.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah, very cool. Well, I don't want to take too much of your time because I know the basketball game's on behind you. So, are you? This will come out probably in a couple weeks.
Okay.
So whenever I post it, obviously, I'll tag you in it. I'll send you the link to the podcast episode, and
yeah, for sure. I'll be pushing it.
Yeah, I appreciate.
I'm gonna have to start listening to your podcast now.
Yeah, it's
for sure.
I kind of like if I have like a parent like that has like kids, I always talk about the kids first to kind of break the ice a little bit, and then I go to like their training or whatever, or if they're a diabetic, I kind of talk about like their diabetic story and how they became a diabetic, and go from there.
Well, as you saw, I'm a dog mom because my dogs were fighting like the entire time.
I know. I forgot to ask about that question. Damn. All right, I'll do that next time. So.
Okay.
But like the reason, like I always have like a list. So like on my left-hand side, I have a list of like notes that I've taken just to kind of try to keep the whole thing going. And
Keep it
this
going.
I've
Yeah.
done a podcast where like they've gone through like 6 of my questions all at one in like one fell swoop.
You're like, ah.
I'm sitting there like, how am I gonna do this? But yeah, I'm
Just wing it.
definitely gonna subscribe to your channel too on YouTube.
For sure. Yeah.
So,
Thank you.
I'll like every single one of them.
Our 10K is I'm gonna post it tomorrow. So
Okay. How did that go?
I hit 9,096.
Ugh. Were you drinking a lot of shakes?
No, so liquids don't count.
What?
So they don't, yeah. So any liquids that you like take or whatever, drink, they don't count towards your total calorie intake. So
Okay.
I wasn't drinking any shakes. I was eating.
Oh, was that like a whole 24 hours you were doing that?
Yeah. So I woke up at like 6:30 and the first thing I ate was donuts. And then I had like some eggs and bacon. And we went to work out and I actually did the brutal Friday we did on Saturday. I did that workout with them and whew, it was a little rough. And then I went and got Chick-fil-A.
Yeah.
And then I ate more donuts. And then I had pizza, Panda Express, cookies, ice cream. I had like half a pint of Ben & Jerry's. And then I had like 2 bowls of Cinnamon Toast Crunch. Yeah.
Favorite
it was intense. Yeah. By the time I like went to bed, I was like, oh my, what did I do? What did I do? Took me like 2 days to like fully recover. Like,
yeah, I was gonna ask you how long it took because I can't imagine.
I think by like Tuesday, I was like, okay, I feel better now.
Yeah. Did you kind of fast like the first day after?
Oh yeah. Sunday I like I think I ate twice. It was nothing.
I wouldn't have eaten anything.
I finally got hungry. I was like, I'm not gonna eat till I get hungry. And then I got hungry. And then I had like a pretty good meal and then Phil made dinner for us and I was like full super fast.
Okay. So do you have to wake up at 3 o'clock tomorrow too?
No, not tomorrow. Thank God. Okay. I'm going to coach in the evening tomorrow.
Okay, so. Good. Because I don't want to keep you up. That's the main thing. Like
no, I when I have to wake up at 3:30, I go to bed at like 9. So.
Okay. All right. I mean, that's I go to bed at 10. I wake up at 4. So.
Oh.
Yeah.
Not fun.
It's all good. I have 2
Yeah.
kids. I have 2 kids, and that's the only time I can work out. So.
Yeah. So it is what it is.
Yeah. Yeah.
Grind.
Well, thank you again for doing this. I do appreciate it. So,
thank you so much.